You think waking up to pee at night is harmless, but it might be a hidden signal that your body is out of balance. In this video, I'll show you what could be causing it and how to stop it naturally. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night just to go to the bathroom, thinking it was no big deal? Maybe you thought it was just the result of drinking a little more water that day, or a normal part of aging. But what if I told you that waking up to pee, even once a night, could be a silent sign that something in your daily habits is quietly disrupting your body's balance? What if, hidden in your evening routine, there were subtle triggers causing your bladder to become more active while your body desperately tries to rest? Tonight, we're going to uncover something that affects millions of people, often without them even realizing it. How what you eat and drink could be the real reason you wake up to urinate. And more importantly, how avoiding just a few specific items could help you sleep through the night and wake up feeling truly rested. Now, I want you to stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm going to share a bonus tip that I've rarely seen anyone talk about. It's a natural, gentle food that supports your bladder and helps regulate your sleep cycle, but it only works if used correctly. I'll explain exactly how to prepare it at the right moment for maximum effect, so don't miss it. Back to the main issue. Waking up during the night, even once, disrupts your body's natural cycles. Sleep isn't just about rest, it's when your brain consolidates memories, your hormones reset, and your organs perform critical repair processes. When this rhythm is interrupted, night after night, the effects accumulate. You may not notice it at first, but over time it becomes harder to concentrate. Your energy levels drop, your mood shifts, and even your metabolism can be affected. What's even more surprising is that some of the foods and drinks that seem perfectly harmless, or even healthy, can be the exact ones stimulating your bladder when it should be resting. And this doesn't always come down to how much you drink before bed. It's about what you consume, how your body processes it, and how certain ingredients interact with your kidneys and bladder. This is especially important if you live in North America, where certain eating habits are deeply embedded in our culture. Think of the typical dinner followed by dessert, or the habit of having juice or soda with meals. These patterns over time may unknowingly be the reason you toss and turn at night. For instance, let's take a quick look at how the bladder functions. It collects urine produced by the kidneys, and ideally, it should remain relaxed during the night. But when certain compounds stimulate the bladder lining or increase urine production, it becomes active, sending signals to the brain that wake you up. This breaks your sleep cycle and prevents your body from entering deep, restorative sleep stages. Now imagine this happening not once in a while, but every single night. You're not just losing sleep. You're exposing your nervous system to chronic interruptions, which may lead to hormonal imbalances, immune system stress, and over time, even cardiovascular strain. Again, this isn't to scare you, but to show you how something seemingly small can have ripple effects on your health. The good news is, there are simple, natural adjustments you can make, starting today, to reduce these nightly awakenings. And it all begins with knowing which foods and drinks are quietly interfering with your body's ability to rest. Over the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the 5 worst offenders. These are not extreme or exotic items. They're everyday foods and beverages you probably have in your kitchen right now. But once you understand how they affect your body, especially at night, you'll be able to make better choices that support a full night of uninterrupted sleep. And if you think this is just about drinking too much water before bed, think again. That's one of the biggest myths. The truth goes far deeper. It's about how ingredients like caffeine, sugar, acids, and even certain natural compounds behave in your system after sunset. You'll also learn the smarter, safer alternatives to these foods, options that can soothe your body, support your bladder, and even help regulate your sleep hormones naturally. So before you reach for that harmless drink or snack tonight, stay with me. Because the next item we're going to talk about might be sitting right in your fridge. It looks healthy. It's often recommended as a better choice than soda, and it even shows up in breakfast routines all over America. But taken at the wrong time, it can completely throw off your night. And ignoring this simple adjustment might not only sabotage your sleep, but also set off a cycle of fatigue and irritability you don't even realize is connected. The next tip is one of the most important. And if you ignore it, Not only could you continue waking up at night, but you might also trigger unwanted side effects that could have been easily avoided. Let's take a closer look. Let's begin with something that might surprise you: fruit juice. Yes, that brightly colored, seemingly healthy beverage you pour into your glass each morning or reach for in the evening, thinking it's a better choice than soda. Whether it's orange juice, apple juice, or even a fancy organic blend, these drinks can be one of the worst culprits for disturbing your sleep by triggering nighttime urination. You see, most commercial fruit juices in North America are highly concentrated sources of sugar, especially fructose. Even when labeled as no sugar added, they still contain naturally occurring sugars in amounts that spike your blood sugar quickly. When this happens late in the day or evening, your kidneys work overtime to flush out the excess sugar through urine. That process pulls water from your bloodstream into the bladder. And the result? You wake up. But it doesn't stop there. Many juices are also slightly acidic, which can irritate the bladder lining, making it more sensitive and reactive. That means even small amounts of urine in the bladder can trigger an urgent sensation, waking you up before your body was ready. And remember, the goal isn't just to fall asleep, it's to stay asleep, consistently. Let's take orange juice as an example. A single 8-ounce glass can contain over 20 grams of sugar, nearly the same as many soft drinks. But since it's marketed as a health drink, people often consume it with dinner or even before bed, unaware of its effects. And because juice is a liquid, it's absorbed quickly, causing a sharp rise in blood glucose levels followed by a diuretic response from the kidneys. The irony here is that many people drink juice thinking it will help them wind down in a healthy way. Maybe you've heard that cherry juice can support melatonin production, for example. While that's partially true, the benefit only applies in very small, controlled amounts, and only when the juice is unsweetened and consumed at the right time. Most commercially available cherry juices don't meet those conditions. Another hidden issue with juice? The lack of fiber. When you eat a whole fruit, the fiber slows down the absorption of sugar, giving your body time to process it more gently. Juice, however, removes that fiber, delivering a fast punch to your system that can overstimulate your kidneys and bladder. And here's something even more surprising. Studies have shown that even people who don't have bladder problems can experience increased nighttime urination just from high-sugar drinks. If your body is already sensitive, if you're over 40, under chronic stress, or have a history of mild inflammation, then this impact is often stronger. So what can you do instead? Start by eliminating all fruit juices after 3 p.m. This simple change alone can dramatically reduce nighttime awakenings. And if you feel the need for something sweet, try eating a small piece of whole fruit like a kiwi or a pear. These fruits have lower sugar content, more fiber, and are less likely to irritate the bladder. Also, consider herbal teas like chamomile or rooibos. These are naturally caffeine-free and, when prepared without sugar, can help soothe the nervous system without stimulating the bladder. Just be mindful of the quantity. Even healthy beverages can lead to nighttime trips to the bathroom if consumed too close to bedtime. Another tip? Stay hydrated earlier in the day. Many people unconsciously drink more at night because they didn't hydrate properly during daylight hours. By front-loading your water intake, your body has time to process and eliminate fluids well before bedtime, reducing the risk of bladder activation while you sleep. Replacing fruit juice in the evening with healthier options won't just help with nighttime urination. Over time, it can also improve blood sugar stability, reduce belly fat, and support better cardiovascular health. And all of that begins with a single habit: reading labels, questioning assumptions, and choosing whole foods over processed ones, even when those processed options are dressed up as healthy. Now, take a moment to think about your own routine. Is there a glass of juice that finds its way into your evening? If so, replacing it could be the first step to deeper sleep and brighter mornings. What comes next is even more critical. It's not just about what you drink, it's what you eat, especially at dinner. There's a common ingredient hiding in many North American meals that may be silently causing fluid retention, poor circulation, and unwanted bathroom trips at night. If you skip this next step, the benefits of everything we discussed so far could be greatly reduced, and the side effects might surprise you. If you're already rethinking that glass of juice in the evening, you're on the right track. But let me ask you this. What are you having for dinner? Or better yet, what are you seasoning it with? Because this next trigger is found in countless homes, restaurants, and quick meals across North America. It's nearly invisible, and yet it plays a powerful role in how often you wake up during the night. We're talking about sodium. More specifically, the kind of hidden sodium packed into processed and pre-prepared foods that many people eat without a second thought. It's not just the salt you sprinkle on your meal, it's the salt already lurking in that canned soup, frozen dinner, takeout pizza, or even that healthy salad dressing you bought at the store. Most people associate salt with high blood pressure, but there's another, lesser-known effect of excessive sodium that's directly connected to your nightly trips to the bathroom: fluid retention followed by delayed elimination. Here's how it works. When you consume high-sodium meals, your body holds onto water to dilute the salt concentration in your blood. During the day, this might not be very noticeable. But as you lie down at night, your body shifts fluid that was stored in your legs and tissues back into circulation. Your kidneys, sensing the extra fluid, start filtering it out, often right when you're trying to fall into deep sleep. The result? You wake up with a full bladder, sometimes more than once, without realizing that your dinner was the trigger. And we're not talking about extreme amounts of salt. Even meals that don't taste particularly salty can be overloaded with sodium. Take canned soups, for example. A single serving can contain over 700 milligrams of sodium, and most people eat more than one serving. Add in sauces, deli meats, packaged snacks, or fast food entrees, and it's easy to surpass the recommended daily limit without realizing it. Another factor is how sodium interacts with other elements in your meal. Meals rich in carbohydrates tend to amplify the body's tendency to retain sodium. That means a dinner of pasta with sauce, a sandwich with chips, or a rice bowl with soy sauce may be a triple threat to your overnight bladder function. Your body absorbs the carbs, stores water along with the glycogen, and the excess sodium holds on to even more fluid. But it doesn't stop there. High sodium levels can also stimulate certain hormones that increase blood pressure and fluid movement. Your body, recognizing the imbalance, activates natural mechanisms to flush out what it doesn't need. Unfortunately, that usually happens right when you're asleep. And for people over 40, this response becomes even more pronounced. The body becomes less efficient at handling sodium, and even modest increases can throw off fluid balance. If you've noticed swollen ankles in the evening or mild bloating after dinner, that's often a sign your body is trying to hold on to excess water. So what's the solution? Start with awareness. Check the labels of anything that comes in a package. Look for sodium levels, not just salt. You'll often be surprised to find it in places you never expected, even in foods marketed as healthy or low-fat. Next, shift your seasoning habits. Use fresh herbs like rosemary, thyme, garlic, or lemon juice to enhance flavor without relying on salt. Choose homemade dressings and sauces when possible, where you control the ingredients. And when dining out, don't hesitate to ask for your food to be prepared with little or no added salt. You can also counterbalance sodium by increasing your intake of potassium-rich foods, which help regulate fluid balance. Think leafy greens, avocado, sweet potatoes, and bananas, all of which support kidney function and help prevent unnecessary water retention. And finally, plan your meals so that your saltiest foods are eaten earlier in the day. This gives your body more time to process and eliminate excess sodium before bedtime, reducing the likelihood of fluid shifts that wake you up. These small shifts can make a big difference. Less sodium, better hydration rhythm, and a calmer bladder overnight. It's not about deprivation. It's about empowerment, knowing how your body works and supporting it in simple, practical ways. And remember, when you sleep better, your entire body functions better. From mood and memory to metabolism and immunity, uninterrupted sleep is a cornerstone of good health. Reducing nighttime urination isn't just about convenience. It's about giving your body the full opportunity to heal, reset, and energize. Now that we've tackled sodium, we need to address something that seems harmless, even relaxing, but might be the reason you can't stay asleep. It's common in teas, desserts, and even over-the-counter remedies. And if you miss this one, you might unknowingly undo all the progress you've made so far. Ignoring this next tip not only limits your results, but can introduce new challenges to your health that could have been easily avoided. Let me ask you something. Do you enjoy a warm cup of tea in the evening? Or maybe you like a piece of dark chocolate after dinner as a little treat? These habits might seem calming and even beneficial, but depending on the ingredients, they could be directly contributing to why you're waking up at night to use the bathroom. Let's talk about caffeine. It's not just in coffee. Caffeine hides in many places, and for those sensitive to its effects, even small amounts can act as a bladder stimulant. That means your evening tea, your dessert, or even your nighttime medication might be sabotaging your sleep in ways you hadn't realized. Caffeine is a known diuretic. That means it increases urine production by affecting how your kidneys filter sodium and water. When consumed too late in the day, even a small dose can lead to your bladder filling up faster, triggering that middle-of-the-night urge. But here's what most people don't know. Caffeine can stay in your system for up to 10 hours. So, even if your last cup of coffee was at 2 p.m., it could still be interfering with your sleep at midnight. Now consider green tea, black tea, yerba mate, and even kombucha. These are often consumed in the afternoon or evening and praised for their antioxidant benefits. But they all contain caffeine, and for sensitive individuals, that can be enough to disturb your bladder at night. Chocolate is another overlooked source. A square of dark chocolate might seem innocent, or even healthy, but it contains both caffeine and a compound called theobromine. Theobromine is a mild stimulant that affects the heart, muscles, and central nervous system. It also has a diuretic effect, meaning it promotes the production of urine. When combined with caffeine, these compounds can make your bladder more active during the hours when your body should be focused on restoration. Even more surprising is how these compounds can affect people differently. As we age, our ability to metabolize caffeine slows down. What didn't affect you in your 30s might now cause significant disruption in your 40s, 50s, or beyond. Add to that the cumulative effect of caffeine from multiple sources throughout the day, and your bladder may be overstimulated without you even realizing it. You might also be reaching for medications or supplements that contain caffeine without noticing. Certain pain relievers, weight loss aids, and even cold or flu remedies include caffeine to enhance absorption or increase energy. Always read the labels, especially if you take anything in the evening. So, what can you do? First, establish a personal caffeine cutoff time. For most people, 2 p.m. is a safe boundary, but if you're particularly sensitive, you may need to stop even earlier. Track your sleep patterns and nighttime awakenings as you experiment. Your body will tell you what works. Second, switch to herbal teas that are naturally caffeine-free. Chamomile, peppermint, ginger, and rooibos are excellent options. Not only are they gentle on the bladder, but they also support digestion and relaxation, making them perfect choices for evening routines. Just remember to avoid drinking large quantities too close to bedtime. Even healthy teas can stimulate your bladder if consumed in excess. If you crave a chocolatey flavor at night, try a small piece of carob-based snacks. Carob has a similar taste to chocolate, but without caffeine or theobromine. It can be a satisfying alternative without the stimulatory effects. You can also create a calming bedtime routine that doesn't revolve around food or drinks. Consider reading, meditating, or light stretching to wind down your nervous system in a more bladder-friendly way. Being mindful of hidden caffeine sources is one of the most overlooked yet powerful steps you can take to reduce nighttime urination. Once you remove these stimulants from your evening, your bladder has a better chance to rest, and so do you. Remember, the goal is not perfection, but progress. By identifying and removing just 1 or 2 of these hidden triggers, you may notice a significant difference in how deeply you sleep and how refreshed you feel the next day. But we're not done yet. There's one more item you need to be aware of, something many people consume thinking it helps them sleep, but it may be doing just the opposite. Ignoring this next tip could not only continue the cycle of nighttime waking, but also interfere with your body's natural ability to relax, heal, and regenerate. Let me ask you something. Do you enjoy a warm cup of tea in the evening? Or maybe you like a piece of dark chocolate after dinner as a little treat? These habits might seem calming and even beneficial, but depending on the ingredients, they could be directly contributing to why you're waking up at night to use the bathroom. Let's talk about caffeine. It's not just in coffee. Caffeine hides in many places, and for those sensitive to its effects, even small amounts can act as a bladder stimulant. That means your evening tea, your dessert, or even your nighttime medication might be sabotaging your sleep in ways you hadn't realized. Caffeine is a known diuretic. That means it increases urine production by affecting how your kidneys filter sodium and water. When consumed too late in the day, even a small dose can lead to your bladder filling up faster, triggering that middle-of-the-night urge. But here's what most people don't know. Caffeine can stay in your system for up to 10 hours. So, even if your last cup of coffee was at 2 p.m., it could still be interfering with your sleep at midnight. Now consider green tea, black tea, yerba mate, and even kombucha. These are often consumed in the afternoon or evening and praised for their antioxidant benefits. But they all contain caffeine, and for sensitive individuals, that can be enough to disturb your bladder at night. Chocolate is another overlooked source. A square of dark chocolate might seem innocent, or even healthy, but it contains both caffeine and a compound called theobromine. Theobromine is a mild stimulant that affects the heart, muscles, and central nervous system. It also has a diuretic effect, meaning it promotes the production of urine. When combined with caffeine, these compounds can make your bladder more active during the hours when your body should be focused on restoration. Even more surprising is how these compounds can affect people differently. As we age, our ability to metabolize caffeine slows down. What didn't affect you in your 30s might now cause significant disruption in your 40s, 50s, or beyond. Add to that the cumulative effect of caffeine from multiple sources throughout the day, and your bladder may be overstimulated without you even realizing it. You might also be reaching for medications or supplements that contain caffeine without noticing. Certain pain relievers, weight loss aids, and even cold or flu remedies include caffeine to enhance absorption or increase energy. Always read the labels, especially if you take anything in the evening. So, what can you do? First, establish a personal caffeine cutoff time. For most people, 2 p.m. is a safe boundary. But if you're particularly sensitive, you may need to stop even earlier. Track your sleep patterns and nighttime awakenings as you experiment. Your body will tell you what works. Second, switch to herbal teas that are naturally caffeine-free. Chamomile, peppermint, ginger, and rooibos are excellent options. Not only are they gentle on the bladder, but they also support digestion and relaxation, making them perfect choices for evening routines. Just remember to avoid drinking large quantities too close to bedtime. Even healthy teas can stimulate your bladder if consumed in excess. If you crave a chocolatey flavor at night, try a small piece of carob-based snacks. Carob has a similar taste to chocolate, but without caffeine or theobromine. It can be a satisfying alternative without the stimulatory effects. You can also create a calming bedtime routine that doesn't revolve around food or drinks. Consider reading, meditating, or light stretching to wind down your nervous system in a more bladder-friendly way. Being mindful of hidden caffeine sources is one of the most overlooked yet powerful steps you can take to reduce nighttime urination. Once you remove these stimulants from your evening, your bladder has a better chance to rest, and so do you. Remember, the goal is not perfection, but progress. By identifying and removing just 1 or 2 of these hidden triggers, you may notice a significant difference in how deeply you sleep and how refreshed you feel the next day. But we're not done yet. There's one more item you need to be aware of, something many people consume thinking it helps them sleep, but it may be doing just the opposite. Ignoring this next tip could not only continue the cycle of nighttime waking, but also interfere with your body's natural ability to relax, heal, and regenerate. You've probably been told that dark chocolate is full of antioxidants, that it's good for the heart, that it boosts your mood, and that just a small piece is a healthy indulgence. And in many ways, that's true. But timing matters. And what's good in the middle of the day might not be so good at night, especially if you're struggling to stay asleep. Here's what most people don't know. Dark chocolate, especially the varieties with higher cocoa content, contains 2 key stimulants that can directly impact your sleep and your bladder's behavior during the night. The first is caffeine. While it may not be as much as in a cup of coffee, Even small doses of caffeine in chocolate can accumulate and linger in your system for hours. As we age, our bodies metabolize caffeine more slowly, which means that a dessert eaten at 8 p.m. could still be influencing your nervous system long after you've gone to bed. The second compound is theobromine. This lesser-known stimulant is found naturally in cocoa and is chemically similar to caffeine. It has a mild but long-lasting effect on the heart and muscles, including those of the urinary tract. Theobromine can act as a gentle diuretic and a smooth muscle relaxant, which may sound like a good thing, but in reality, it increases urine production and bladder activity at the exact time your body should be entering deep sleep cycles. That piece of chocolate after dinner might be comforting, but it could be what's keeping your bladder from staying calm through the night. Now consider how common chocolate is in evening snacks. Chocolate-coated protein bars, brownies, chocolate ice cream, hot cocoa, even granola bars. Many of these items are consumed unconsciously, as part of a habit or comfort ritual before bed. But each bite contributes to a buildup of compounds that disrupt your sleep quality and cause nighttime urination. And it's not just the caffeine and theobromine. Many chocolate products are also high in sugar. That sugar spike, followed by an insulin response, triggers your kidneys to excrete more fluid. Combined with the stimulants, this creates a perfect storm. You fall asleep, but your bladder doesn't. And a few hours later, you're awake again. Let's take this even further. People who consume chocolate desserts with dairy, like ice cream or chocolate milk, may also be introducing lactose, which can cause digestive disturbances in those with sensitivities. Bloating or mild cramping can add another layer of discomfort that interferes with restful sleep, sometimes mistaken for the need to urinate when it's actually digestive unrest. But it's not all bad news. You don't need to eliminate chocolate from your life entirely. You just need to rethink when and how you consume it. Try setting a chocolate cutoff time. Make lunch the latest time you enjoy any chocolate-based snack. This gives your body plenty of time to process the stimulants before you head to bed. And if you do crave something sweet after dinner, opt for alternatives like fruit-based desserts without added sugars or stimulants, baked apples with cinnamon, coconut-based treats, or even a warm herbal tea with a hint of honey can satisfy without disrupting your bladder. If you still want a chocolate-like experience, consider carob as a substitute. Carob is naturally sweet, caffeine-free, and doesn't contain theobromine. It's a great option for evening treats, and many people find it helps reduce cravings without the side effects. Also, make sure your dinner is rich in magnesium and tryptophan, which help support sleep naturally. Think leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, oats, and lean proteins like turkey or tofu. These foods not only avoid overstimulating the bladder, but also contribute to muscle relaxation and the production of calming brain chemicals. Making this simple change in your evening routine, swapping chocolate for something bladder-friendly, can have a dramatic effect on your sleep quality over time. It's about knowing how your body works and honoring its need to rest fully. Your body does amazing work at night, detoxifying, repairing cells, balancing hormones. When you allow that process to happen without interruption, you wake up not just rested, but restored. You regain clarity, energy, and the sense of control over your day. The next tip will bring everything together. It's about not just avoiding the wrong foods, but embracing a specific nighttime ritual that soothes your system and supports the very organs responsible for your sleep and bladder balance. If you skip it, all your other efforts may fall short, and worse, you might trigger side effects that are completely preventable. Now that we've uncovered the 5 most common dietary culprits that might be keeping you up at night, it's time to shift our focus. Because avoiding the wrong foods is only half the equation. The other half is knowing what to introduce into your routine to support your bladder, your nervous system, and your sleep cycle all at once. And the best part? This solution is natural, gentle, and surprisingly simple. Let's talk about one of the most calming nighttime combinations that very few people are actually using. It's a warm, soothing drink that not only helps you fall asleep faster, but also reduces inflammation in the bladder and promotes hormonal balance. I'm talking about a blend of warm plant-based milk, turmeric, a pinch of nutmeg, and raw honey. This isn't just a feel-good beverage. It's a science-backed formula. Each ingredient plays a specific role in preparing your body for rest. Plant-based milks like almond, oat, or cashew provide a creamy texture without the lactose that could upset digestion. They're typically lower in sugar and free of stimulants, which makes them a safe base for evening use. Some, like oat milk, even contain natural compounds that promote serotonin production, the hormone responsible for helping us relax and feel content. Turmeric, the golden root, has been used for centuries as an anti-inflammatory powerhouse. But here's what makes it special for nighttime. Studies suggest that turmeric may help reduce low-grade inflammation in the bladder lining, making it less reactive and more relaxed during the night. For those who experience frequent urination linked to inflammation or irritation, this can be a game changer. Nutmeg, in small amounts, is known for its mild sedative properties. Traditionally used in Ayurvedic and folk medicine, it helps calm the mind and support the nervous system. When combined with turmeric, it creates a synergistic effect that signals to your body that it's time to wind down. And finally, a touch of raw honey. Raw honey contains natural sugars that gently raise insulin levels, which can help the tryptophan in your system reach your brain more easily. Tryptophan is the amino acid that gets converted into serotonin and later melatonin, your sleep hormone. This small spike, timed correctly, supports a natural transition into restful sleep without overstimulating your system. But the key to this drink is timing and portion. You want to consume it about 60 to 90 minutes before bed, giving your body time to digest and absorb the nutrients without flooding your bladder too close to sleep. Keep the portion modest, around 150 to 200 ml, to get the calming benefits without overhydration. This blend isn't just about sleep. It supports your entire system. The antioxidants in turmeric protect your cells. The healthy fats in the plant milk nourish your brain. And the ritual itself, slowing down, preparing something warm and intentional, helps shift you out of the stress of the day and into a state of restoration. Pair this with a quiet environment and low light, and you're creating the perfect conditions for your body to do what it naturally wants to do: heal, rest, and recharge. Now, earlier, I promised you a bonus tip, and this one is for those who want to go even deeper in their nighttime routine. There is a seed that has been used in traditional medicine to support bladder control, hormone balance, and even prostate health in men. It's often overlooked in modern diets, yet it's rich in zinc, magnesium, and antioxidants. I'm talking about pumpkin seeds. Consuming a small amount of roasted pumpkin seeds, about 1 tablespoon, with your evening meal can offer long-term benefits for bladder function. Zinc supports tissue repair, magnesium calms the muscles, and together they help reduce bladder overactivity over time. But here's the key. They work best when they're part of an overall balanced diet, and when they're not over-salted or processed. Just a handful of clean, lightly roasted seeds, taken consistently, can be a powerful ally in reducing nighttime urgency and improving your sleep quality. When you put all of this together, avoiding the known triggers and embracing the foods that nourish your system, you're not just addressing a symptom. You're creating the internal environment your body needs to rest deeply and restore fully. And that's the real goal here. Not just sleeping through the night, but waking up feeling refreshed, clear-minded, and empowered. Because health isn't about perfection. It's about paying attention, making small, smart choices consistently, listening to your body and giving it what it truly needs. If you found value in these insights, imagine how many others are still waking up tired, not knowing the hidden causes. Share this knowledge. Help someone you care about sleep better. And if you'd like to keep learning simple ways to improve your health naturally, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is just the beginning of a better night's sleep and a better you.